Hello, minions. Oops, that's a little too loud. As much as I like you hearing my beautiful voice, I can't have it blowing out your eardrums. Welcome, one and all. It's time for another Tsukihime reading day. And I'm excited to get into it. The Far Side roots are what we're digging into today, starting with Akia, which is just... It's great. Great! I'm looking forward to spending more time with this character that the VN has given me no reason to like whatsoever so far. And also, you know, it's a sibling root in an eroge VN. We all know what to expect here. Thank God I do not have to experience the H scenes. Thank God the necessity of Twitch bars me from looking at them. I think we're all better off for it. Also, I'd like to thank Prototype Sylph for following shortly before the stream. Welcome! Welcome to the Rose Rabbit Army. So yeah, I don't want to be completely a downer about starting Akia's route. I'm hoping it'll deliver something interesting for me. Because, like I said, I just don't feel like I have been given much of a reason to like Akia at all so far. And I'm hoping, praying to the Mushroom Man, Nasu himself, that this route will give me anything. Zipper Hands, you're not the only person who has said stuff like that. In fact, every time I've talked about Akia, someone's like, yeah, Rin's like the same character, but actually good, so... actually, let me pull up my route guide here really quick. Need to see that. It's right here next to my Ace Combat 3 mission chart. Very important. I read visual novels. There we go. Apparently Akia has some weird Thurnda ending, but I think it's more like an error than something intentional from the way this is described. Alright, so... I'm intrigued by what's going to happen in the Far Side routes. I expect, of course, a lot more stuff focusing on the Tono family, but one thing I did not expect that somebody told me before, and maybe this is an exaggeration or they're just misremembering or making stuff up, is that Arquid or Seal apparently just do not appear whatsoever in these Far Side routes, which would be quite interesting. We'll see. So we're going to start from the beginning again. And we're going to, as last time, we're going to skip the scenes we've already seen. So there's only a few minutes until homeroom. This would take us to Seal. We're not hanging out with her this time. We're hanging out with the sister. I arrive in class earlier than usual. Phew! I walk to my desk next to the window. Good morning, Tono-kun. An unfamiliar voice greets me. Huh? I turn around, confused. Oh, it's her! Rootless behavior. Tono-kun, the teacher was looking for you. He said he wanted to talk to you about your house. My home? Must be about me moving. I should have finished the formalities yesterday. Perhaps there's something I forgot to do. The girl doesn't move, but stands there looking at me. Good morning, Yumizuka. Yeah, good morning, Tono-kun. Looks like you remember my name. Not like the game's given me any reason so far. Yeah, you're a character in Melty Blood, and you're in, like, 2 scenes in this game. I legit, in Arquid and Ciel's route, she was in like one tiny scene where she's like hanging out with Ariko, and then you never see her again. Sighing with release, Yumizuka Satsuki gives a faint smile. I can remember the names of my own classmates, you know. It's just that I haven't spoken to you much. Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, I was a little nervous about talking to you. Yumizuka smiles again. She seems happy about something. The Millhouse of Tsukihime? Oh no! That's such a rude thing to say. You can't just call someone Millhouse. Yumizuka continues to stare at me as if she wants to say something else. To be honest, I don't know her that well. Although we're in the same class, I can count the times we've spoken. But Yumizuka Satsuki is the center of attention. She's often the topic of conversation among the boys, and there aren't any bad rumors about her among the girls. In short, she's your typical class idol. Naturally, she's always surrounded by a crowd. Oh, I didn't actually expect to learn anything about Yumizuki. I was just like, oh, she appeared in one tiny scene, and I guess they just threw her in Melty Blood because? We're actually getting a little bit of backstory for her. She's the complete opposite of a loner like me. While I might be able to remember the name Yumizuka Satsuki, there's no reason for her to remember the name Tono Shiki. It seems like some bothersome coincidences are at work today. Tono-kun, can I ask you a question? If I can answer, you can ask as many as you want. Sorry if it's something personal, but you said you're moving? Are you going to move somewhere far away? Her voice trails off as if it's hard for her to speak. Hard for her to ask. Oh my god. I've seen this cliche 500 times. Oh, I'm nervous. I can't talk to you. Ooh. She clasps her hands to stop fidgeting. I know it's sudden, but will you be transferring somewhere? No. I'm changing my residence, but not my school. My new house is still in this town anyway, so it's no big deal. Oh, that's good. Yumizuka sighs with relief. I don't know what her story is in Melty. I've never played any of the arcade routes, and I've never even played Yumizuka in the game. Question mark? How odd. Why would something like me moving cause that kind of reaction? We just don't know, Shiki. We just don't know. But are you going to leave the Arimas? Yeah, I enjoyed living with him, but I can't leech off them forever. Huh? How does Yumizuka know that? No one at this school should know I was living with the Arimas, except for a certain guy. What's up, Tono? A carefree, loud voice rings out from the classroom doorway. As if on cue, the guy who's been my friend since middle school appears. I gotta say though, I like Yumizuka's bang. They're pretty cute. Hey, if it isn't Yumizuka. It's not often I see you talking to Tono. Morning, Inui-kun. Yumizuka looks away with an unenthusiastic reply. I guess she isn't the type who'd respond well to a guy like him. Yeah, I've been saying this for months, ever since I started playing this, Zipper Hands. When are they gonna put Arihiko into Plumina? It's his turn. They made fucking Yumizuka a character in original Melty. Why not Arihiko? I guarantee you, Yumizuka doesn't do an ounce of fighting in any Tsukihime content. Just do anything with Arihiko. Tono's picking up chicks? What the hell is going on? I thought you weren't interested in him. What did he mean by this? Arihiko exclaims his joke loudly. You moron, stop spreading lies. I'm a normal guy. Of course I'm interested in girls. Is that right? Good for you, man. Still, these days, girls find it more amusing if you have a weird sex drive instead. Huh? Now I really want to know what he meant by this. But they'll only find it amusing and it won't go any farther. His bottomless, cheerful laughter echoes throughout the morning classroom. I let out another sigh. I once again wonder, like I have many times before, how I ended up knowing this person. His hair dyed orange, ears pierced, his vicious glare that shouts he will pick a fight with anyone and at any time, and his wearing of rebellious clothes. Inui Arihiko is the only free-spirited outlaw in our university-oriented high school. Do you have to be so loud this early in the morning? I'm depressed about all sorts of stuff, so stay away from me today, okay? I wave my hands to shoo him away. Depressed? What's wrong, man? Is it that time of the month? What? Wait, I take that back. Rather than just for today, stay away from me for the rest of my life. My depression will only get worse with you around. Ignoring Arihiko, I head back to my own desk. There's a lot of playful rudeness between these two. Dropping my bag and taking a seat, I stretched my back. Hey, you can't just ignore other people like that, Tono. You're gonna hurt people with that careless attitude of yours. Oh, that's news to me. Isn't there some way I can kill them instead? If you can tell me how, I'll repay you by trying it out on you. That's cold, man. Aren't you just a little nastier than usual this morning? Didn't I tell you that I'm depressed? Other people aside, I'm certainly not showing any kindness to you. Arihiko sighs. Why are you only mean to me, Tono? You're like a saint to everyone else. It's not fair. What, you just figured that out? The world's unfair. You really are only mean to me. Arihiko gives another exaggerated sigh. I didn't try particularly hard to be cold, Arihiko. I don't know. I think you were trying a little bit. That's just the kind of relationship we have. You know, I've noticed something, minions. Arihiko and Arquid share a trait where they always say, "Oh, you're only mean to me, Tono-kun," and I'm wondering what Nasu meant by this. So, Arihiko, what's a chronically late night owl who never shows up until second period doing here in homeroom? It's very odd. I was thinking that too. I guess being at school on time isn't just for when I happen to wake up early. Well, I won't comment on your hobbies. What I'm asking is why you woke up early. Why I woke up early? I guess it's because I can't stay out late since all the fuss started. So I actually go to sleep at night now. You've heard the stories about that serial killer, haven't you? Yeah, he's got a very long neck on this sprite. Very, very Persona 3-ish. I see. Come to think of it, I did hear something like that. I feel a tinge of regret at needing Arihiko to remind me. For the past 2 or 3 days, I had been debating whether or not to return to the Tono household, so I completely lost touch with the news. What was that again? They've given it some really nasty name, like the freakish serial killings or something. There's more to it. So far, all the victims have been young girls. The 8th victim was only 2 days ago, and to top it all off, they were all... Wait, what happened to them again? Arihiko tilts his head in contemplation. I'm an idiot for asking him. Yeah, I remember now. All the victims were cut up into pieces and arranged in a pattern or something. Oh no. No, Inui-kun. Everyone who was killed lost a lot of blood. Oh yeah, that was it. This almost feels like self-parody, because they're like, haha, what if the killer was a guy who cut up women? That would never happen, how ridiculous. You have a sneaking suspicion that Shiki and Arihiko's interactions are based around Nasu and Takeuchi? I wouldn't be surprised if there was some inspiration there, whether intentional or not. Just from what I've read of interviews between the two of them. They seem to have a very, kind of playfully weird relationship like that. Oh yeah, that was it. They said it's some kind of modern-day vampire or something. Huh. You sure know a lot about this, Yumizuka-san. Not really. It's happening in this town, so it's in the news. You'd remember it even if you didn't want to. I see. I thought it was happening in a neighboring town, but I guess it moved down here. Well, anyway, that's what happened. You and I wouldn't be going on the Oh, I'm sorry, that's Arihiko. You and I wouldn't be going on the streets at night with a killer walking around. That's why I've been waking up at 7 lately. What, that's it? Having a good reason doesn't make a good story. Where's the fun in that? Man, you're cold. What, did you collapse from anemia already this morning? I'm alright, thanks for asking. If I was anemic 24 hours a day, I'd be dead by now. Yeah, you're right. If you say you're okay, then I guess you're okay. And the bell rings, interrupting our conversation. Hey, class is about to begin. Hurry up and get back to your seat. With a yeah, Arihiko goes back to his seat. See you later, Tono-kun. Yeah. Sorry for keeping you, Yumizuka-san. Alright, there she goes. I'm fully prepared for her to never appear again. Her light footsteps tap across the floor as she returns to her desk. Second period is over. Our homeroom teacher, who's also our math teacher, calls out to me as he leaves. Tono, your documents are missing some details. Please go visit the office. Shouldn't take long, so I'll head to the office before the third period starts. The office is on the first floor. The second year classroom is on the third floor, but I could make it back before third period starts if I run. I run. And run. And The impact floors me with a thud. My head hits something, and the world swims before my eyes. Ow, 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 ow. I hear a voice nearby. It's a woman's voice I've never heard before. It looks like I ran into someone. I'm sorry, are you alright? I still can't see my surroundings too well, but I apologize to the person I hit. Yes, I'm alright. How about you? Are you okay? There's no trace of accusation in that gentle voice. I don't know who she is, but it seems like she's worried about me. Yeah, I'm also okay. I shake my head and stand up. Finally, I can see clearly. Oh, hi, Seal. Are you really alright? Your forehead is swelling up. Huh? I feel a prickle of pain when I try to touch it with my hand. Just like she said, I'm developing a magnificent lump. I am so sorry. I was not paying attention to where I was going. Your forehead must really hurt, right? The female student gazes apologetically at my face. From the formal way she spoke, I assumed she was a first year, but from the color of her ribbon, I can see she's a third year. In other words, my senpai. No, it's fine, really. I'm the one at fault. I'm sorry for bumping into you, senpai. I lower my head in a bow. Come to think of it, you're right. You shouldn't be running down the hallways, you know. There are people like me spaced out while looking down at the courtyard. Yes, I'll be more careful. Are you alright, senpai? Yes, if only I only fell. Yeah, I've turned on the option to skip scenes I've already seen. I think I just haven't seen this one, because when I did Arkwood's route, I also chose the first option that let me meet CL at the very beginning. So I just haven't seen this alternate way of meeting her yet. It's because you ran into the wall while trying to avoid hitting me, Tono-kun. Really? No wonder I'm seeing stars. I'm lucky to get hit off with just a bump after running into a wall at that speed. Sorry about that, but spacing out in the hallway is also dangerous, senpai. Yes, I'll be more careful. Senpai smiles and nods. It's an honest smile. Excuse me, I'd best be going. Beating the dust off my pants, I begin walking towards the office. But the older student continues to watch me through her glasses. Wait, just who is she? I was distracted because I ran into her, but come to think of it, she's beautiful. If she's this beautiful, the male students would be talking about a third-year beauty wearing glasses. I'm going now. You should go back to your classroom too, senpai. If you're in any pain, please come to my classroom. I'm Tono from second year, third class. I'll take responsibility. She nods. Even though she's older than me, it's like dealing with someone younger. Alright, if anything happens, I'll come to your classroom at lunchtime. Remember, Shiki-kun, you mustn't run in the hallways. Okay, but you shouldn't space out in hallways either, senpai. With that, I have waved my hand and leave. Wait, Shiki-kun? I haven't told her my first name. Come to think of it, did she use my name earlier, too? Huh? Have I met you before, senpai? Eh? Senpai cries out in surprise and mischievously puts on a depressed face. You're terrible, Tono-kun. You've forgotten about me? Huh? Forgotten? No, I don't think so. If I ever got myself involved with a beautiful woman like her, there'd be no way I'd forget. She looks up at me reproachfully. Those eyes, I'm sure I remember from somewhere, don't I? Come to think of it, we exchanged greetings once or twice before, didn't we? CL-senpai, right? I say her name apprehensively. Yes, and I'm glad you remember. You seem the type to space out and forget, Tono-kun. That's her using her powers of suggestion, she called them, I think. Well then, goodbye. Let's meet again at lunchtime. CL-senpai bows again. I watch her walk down the hallway. It's lunchtime. Now then, where should I eat lunch? Eat lunch in class. I will meet no one. It's lunchtime and the classroom starts to liven up. Some guys are dashing off towards the cafeteria, a group of girls are rearranging desks to form a table, and some students are calmly leaving the classroom, boxed lunches in hand. I watched them while I set down the milk and bread I bought. Sheesh, not much of an appetite as usual, huh, Tono? This guy in front of me being here is already a part of my daily routine, and I'm not about to start complaining now. But man, what's up with this? Just the two of us eating lunch together. What kind of meal goes unaccompanied by a beautiful blossom? If you don't have any blossoms, why don't you join that group over there? I'm not going to stop you. Idiot. When I say blossom, I mean a single beautiful blossom. Those girls making a group aren't good. They're poisonous rather than being beautiful. I feel like Arihiko speaks a language only he understands. Arihiko's comment would have probably earned him some rocks thrown in his direction if the group of girls had heard him. Yeah, probably. He'd deserve it too. Luckily, the girls in our class didn't hear his poisonous words. That's pretty harsh, Arihiko. I know you were a bad guy before, but haven't you been getting worse lately? You're surpassing merely bad and getting into deviant. Ooh. I can't help it, can I? When there's a truly beautiful blossom at our school, my discerning eye grows more critical. So who is this beautiful blossom? That's a secret. I don't want more competition now, do I? Arihiko laughs with an ambitious smile spilling over his face. As it is something I don't have, I'm a little impressed by his ability to express himself so frankly. And then, the person I just met comes in front of the classroom door. With a box lunch in one hand, there is no way I could mistake her. Hello, Tono-kun. Mind if I interrupt? It's fine, of course. Smiling, CL-senpai brings over a chair and sits down naturally. Senpai, are you hurt? No, I'm not hurt at all. Even her smiling reply troubles me. You said to come here at lunchtime, so I thought I would be rude if I did not. It's true that I said that, but... What I intended to say was that she could come and I would take responsibility if she ended up being hurt. Ahem. Senpai! Arihiko slams the table with a bang as he stands up. Inui-kun. Could it be that you and Tono-kun are acquainted? Yeah, we're more than casual acquaintances. Tono and I have been friends since we were kids. Right, Tono? You could even say we were best friends. Yeah, the foreknowledge that she's CL right now is just kind of investigating Shiki because she thinks he's Roa is interesting. It adds an interesting context to all the conversations you have with her. Which is something, Shiki acknowledged at the end of that route. Arihiko makes a tight fist for emphasis. There's no room for agreement or disagreement. Oh, really? It is such a coincidence that you two are friends. Whoops, what did I drop? I don't know, it's not important. Sure is. This bastard is such a calm face, I'm wondering just when did he start get along with Senpai? Arihiko glares at me while laughing towards Senpai. Absent-mindedly, I wonder if that's what you'd call being well-rounded. In the end, Arihiko forcibly convinces Senpai to stay for lunch. Well, since she brought her lunch, perhaps that's what she had in mind in the first place. Oh, Inui-kun, do you live by yourself? Nah, I live with my sister. Our parents left us in charge of the house, so we naturally learned how to cook, that's all. Arihiko seems familiar with Senpai. He's able to talk to her more casually than I can. I've only met her a few times. By the way, Senpai, you said that you were called here by Tono. Did something happen? Yes, I ran into Tono-kun during the break. I wasn't hurt, but Tono-kun hit his head. And you came to see him because you became worried? Yeah, that's about right. Senpai's voice is brisk and pleasant to listen to. Since listening is more interesting than talking, I keep silent. That's when Arihiko directs the conversation towards me. What's wrong, Tono? Running into someone. Don't tell me your anemia was acting up again. Arihiko's voice betrays his deep concern about my health. No, it's not that. I was running to the office to deal with some details for me moving. That's when I ran into Senpai. Really? Well, I guess your carelessness was at fault. Haruhiko folds his arm and nods in agreement to himself. Tono-kun, are you changing schools? Senpai suddenly outbursts almost hysterically. Really, why does she think I'm changing schools just because of that? I'm not changing schools, Senpai. I'm just changing my place of residence, so I filled the paperwork for a change of address. So that means you're going to be living alone? No, I'm just going back to my real home. It's that fancy place on top of the hill. I still can't quite believe it yet. Oh, could that possibly be the Tono-san mansion? Senpai asked with some hesitation. The Western-style house on top of the hill is probably seen as something special to the residents of the town. I haven't been there for 8 years, but even in my memories, the Tono mansion was ridiculously large. Yeah, that's right. I don't think it's the right place for me either, but it's too late now that I'm done moving. You don't seem too happy about it. It's not a particularly good or bad thing. I don't really understand it myself. Well, even if it is your house, it's been 8 years, right? I can understand if you're feeling restless. It'll probably feel like someone else's house for a while. I wonder if that's so. I haven't gone back yet, so I don't know. Well, I'm a bit relaxed since I have always got refuge at your place. Huh. Listen, you, I'm not impressed with how you come to stay at my house every time something bad happens. I like your personality trait of not standing out, but I've hated how you're always too reserved for a long time now. Haruhiko strikes the table with a bang again. Well, everything Haruhiko said is true, so there's no way to fight back. Inui-kun, does Tono-kun really stay at your house that often? Yeah, he does. That damn Tono is too reserved towards his parents, and he would come to my place every long vacation. He's reserved towards them because they're taking care of him. That's why he comes over to my place, where we conveniently have an empty room. Since he looks pretty decent, my sister took a liking to him, and he shamelessly comes to stay with us without paying a cent. You need to pay me rent, Shiki. Haruhiko's fist trembles as if to say, Uru Sadai. Taking care of Tono-kun? Haruhiko clamps a hand over his mouth. Sorry, I should have thought before I spoke. It's okay. You didn't say anything wrong. I'm gonna eat my bread without looking at Haruhiko. Really? Yeah, you're right. If you complain about that, you'll be in for some punishment. Haruhiko nods to himself in agreement. His overwhelming optimism is something I am truly envious of. Tono-kun, did you not get along with your previous family? No, that's not it. This guy had no problem with the Arimas. Oh, the Arimas were the family who took care of him. They're really nice people, and from what I could see, they're a happy family. Even so, he refused to be their adopted child, and he escaped to my place every vacation. Sheesh, just what were you not satisfied with anyway? There's nothing I wasn't satisfied with. It's just that I've received so much from them already. I didn't want to be a further burden on them. I feel like that's an interesting maybe like a weird abnormal perspective for Shiki to have. Culturally speaking, I mean. Because I feel like, you know, one thing you learn a lot about East Asian countries is that their family unit is a lot more collective. Like there's a lot less focus on, oh, you gotta move out when you're 18. From my understanding. I think he talks about this a bit in the first route when we were in another scene about how he always felt like a burden on the Arimas because he wasn't really their kid. And all of a sudden I realize Yumizuka is close by. Ah, you're still here. I didn't expect you to be relevant this long. Her eyes look like she wants to say something, but it seems like she can't bring herself to intrude. What's wrong, Yumizuka-san? I leave Haruhiko and Senpai and call out to Yumizuka. I have something to talk to you about. Is now a good time? Sure. Can we talk here? Yumizuka's eyes flicker towards Haruhiko. It seems Yumizuka isn't good at dealing with Haruhiko. He is an eccentric fellow, that Arihiko. Is it alright if we discuss this in the hallway? I don't mind. I'm leaving for a while, Arihiko. Leaving to Arihiko and Senpai exit with Yumizuka into the hallway. So, what did you want to ask me? I'm sorry if I'm wrong about this, but have you been walking around at night in the business district lately? Huh? Business district? I rarely go there even in the daytime, let alone at night. Her question is so entirely off that I become interested instead. At night, you say? Around what time? From what I've heard, past midnight. Midnight? Then that rules it out completely. I occasionally go out to the business district at night to buy something, but I've never been out into the city that late before. That's definitely not me. My household is old-fashioned, so they've got a curfew at 7. You can't even get in. You can't get in after that, even if you cry. Since I don't want to have to camp outside, I try to get my death to get home before 7. I'm up front in denying Yumizuka's question. She smiles happily. Yeah, I know. The Arima family is also the head of a style of tea ceremony. That's right, it must be really strict for you, Tono-kun. Not so much strict as they like to tease me, huh? Yumizuka-san, you seem to know quite a bit. Are you a student of it? No, I don't really know that much about tea ceremony. I have a friend who goes there and she told me it was really strict. Oh, but Yumizuka-san, how did you know I lived with the Arimas? I haven't told anyone here at our high school. I broke into your file, Shiki-san. I know everything about you. You've forgotten that we went to the same middle school together, haven't you? Yumizuka giggles as she speaks. Huh? We went to the same middle school? I can't remember, so I can't say anything. But if that's true, then wouldn't it be odd if she knew I was entrusted to the Arimas? Yumizuka-san, maybe, It's okay as long as it's not you, Tono-kun. Sorry for interrupting your lunch. Interrupting my words, Yumizuka Satsuki goes back into the classroom after saying this. Yo, is your conversation over? Yeah, it seems like she just got the wrong person. Hey, Arihiko. Yeah? Yumizuka went to our middle school. To say more, she was our classmate during our second and third year, and now in the second year of high school, making for 3 years in total. Huh? As if he knew my question, he answers. How did you know I was going to ask? Because of that look on your face. But damn, I thought you were just ignoring her, but you actually didn't even notice her. She's really persistent, or maybe she's just eccentric. She's had to suffer a lot. Arihiko makes a difficult face and shrugs. I'm sure we'll learn all about what Yumizuka suffered. I'm sure there will be a lot of time spent on her as a character. Arihiko makes a difficult face and shrugs. I knew it. She is Tono-kun's girlfriend, right? What are you saying, senpai? There's no way that could be. Never even had a proper conversation with her. Shiki's like, I don't know women. I don't talk to girls. What are you, crazy? No, there's no use hiding it. You two look like you get along very well. I'm a little jealous. What's making her so happy? Senpai looks at me with an excited expression. Senpai? Arihiko, you say something to this confused person here, too. About what? I don't know what you and Yumizuka are up to. All I know is that you two were having a merry conversation this morning. Yeah, a secret meeting at school in the morning? How bold of you, Tono-kun. Senpai is getting more and more worked up in an incomprehensible way. There's this implication that some of this is just Seal, like, kind of pretending to try and fit in, but I like to personally imagine that she's just also just like this. Like, I think it adds a lot to her character that she says at the end of her route that she wanted to live in a kind of normal life. So I like to imagine this is her, like this is getting into real headcanon territory, that she likes, like, she must have, like, read a lot of, like, manga or, like, books and stuff, or, like, watched a lot of TV as a way to, like, trying to experience kind of vigorously Vicariously, I mean. Like normal high school young girl life. So she's like, ooh, I know that cliche. Oh. And she like gets excited about it. I like to imagine that's genuine and not like her faking it. Well, whatever. After all, it doesn't matter to me if Senpai misunderstands. But you mustn't be so blunt to her, Tono-kun. Yumizuka-san looks kind of sad, doesn't she? You've got to give her more of your attention. Senpai, lunch is going to end soon. Yeah. See you later, Tono-kun. Inui-kun? Smiling, Senpai leaves our classroom. I feel a little exhausted. Tono, don't go after Yumizuka. Akiko mumbles this with a stern face. Don't go after? Why? Listen, about Yumizuka, despite her appearance, she's really shy and single-minded. She's not compatible at all with someone absent-minded like you. That kind of girl is dangerous to get really involved with. Arihiko goes back to his own seat. Wow, hinting at things that will probably never happen. What is he talking about? It's not like I'm thinking of doing something with Yumizuka-san. I mutter to no one in particular and sit down in my own seat. Okay. Let's see. Get a hold of myself and head back to the mansion. I don't have anything to do, so I hurry up and leave school. Come to think of it, I hadn't left the school by the main entrance since the entrance ceremony. I guess those will be the way to and from school from now on since I live in the mansion. Leaving from the main gate, I come to the intersection that leads to the residential district. This is the point at which the paths to the city and... the residential district where the mansion is part. Why are you still here? Oh, it's Tono-kun. Suddenly, I run into Yumizuka. Hello, Yumizuka-san. It may have been because of CL Senpai's teasing, but I feel a little embarrassed. Yumizuka-san looks at me, bewildered. Yumizuka-san? Is there something on my face? I was wondering what you were doing here, Tono-kun. Isn't your house in the other direction? Well, it was until yesterday, but I'm living somewhere else starting today. From now on, I'll be living at the place on top of the hill at the end of that residential district. Is Yumizuka just a lot more in Farsight in general? I thought she only had, like, a couple scenes where she appears. So that's what you were talking about this morning. Yumizuka claps her fists and open palm together in understanding. Well, all flattery aside, that gesture seems incredibly cute. That's right. I guess there's no point hiding it from you since you already know. I'm leaving my guardians, the Arimas, and going back to my real house today. Your real house? You mean the Tono-san mansion? Yeah, I don't think it really suits me either. I see. You're really a prince on top of a hill, after all. It was a secret only Inui-kun and I knew, but now I guess everyone's going to find out. With a faint smile, Yumizuka casts her gaze into the distance. She looks out at the horizon, as if looking at the Tono mansion off in the distance on top of the hill. But will you be alright? Even if it is your house, you've been away for 8 years, right? Aren't you afraid or worried? Yeah, I'm actually kind of uneasy. I never liked that mansion to begin with, and now it's going to feel like someone else's house, too. But still, I can't lead a carefree life on my own and leave my sister Akiya there all by herself. I think you can, actually. I think you can do that. Living a carefree life is great. Don't take responsibility. No matter how uneasy I am, I have to return to the mansion. In the end, it's still my home. I think it's only natural for me to go back. I see. Yeah, sorry for stopping you, Tono-kun. You must be in a hurry, right? No, not really. I was just having a stroll on the way home. I see. For some reason, Yumizuka looks downcast and falls silent. What's wrong, Yumizuka-san? Are you feeling sick? I break the silence, but she continues to stare downwards without raising her head. I can't just leave her here, so I continue to stand there looking at her. And then... yeah, what is it? I'm going home along the same way as you until we reach the hill. Really? Then let's go together for part of the way. Huh? Yumizuka's eyes widen as she stands there stiffly for a moment. Yeah, you're right. We're going back the same way, so it wouldn't be strange for us to go together for part of the way, right? She says this all with an excessively cheerful voice and stands right beside me. Just at the right time, too. I'm not too familiar with the streets around here, so would you mind guiding me? Sure. Well then, let's go down this street. It's a back street that leads all the way to the street on the hill. Poor Yumizuka. I'm feeling kind of bad for her now that she just exists to be unrequited love. I walk home while chatting with Yumizuka. Talking to Yumizuka isn't anything particularly special, but it is enjoyable in a peaceful kind of way. Despite what Arihiko had said, Yumizuka Satsuki has a gentle air about her, and I feel safe being around her. While we are talking, Yumizuka suddenly laughs as if she had remembered something. What is it all of a sudden? Did I say something funny? No, that's not it. It's just that starting tomorrow I'll be taking the same route to school as you. She laughs, looking truly happy. Too bad I won't be taking your route, Yumizuka. The honest, smiling face is enough to make me happy as I watch her. I didn't realize it up until now. Even putting her looks and manners aside, Yumizuka Satsuki is kind of cute. I'm slowly beginning to understand why the boys in our class have been so worked up over her for so long now. Our conversation ceases. I'm simply fascinated by Yumizuka's smile, and the two of us fall silent. Without saying anything, we walk towards the residential district in the sunset. Suddenly... Oh wow, she gets a CG even. Hey, do you remember what happened during the winter vacation of our second year of middle school? Yumizuka murmurs. Question mark? I tilt my head to one side. The winter vacation of the second year of middle school was when I had applied to stay for extra lessons at school because I felt bad about staying at the Arimas. I remember it well enough, but I still don't understand why she asked me about that. Just as I thought, someone like Tonokun would never have remembered. Disappointed, Yumizuka's shoulders droop. There were two sports sheds at our middle school, remember? One was a new shed used by the big clubs, and the other one was an old one used by the smaller clubs like badminton. The old shed had a certain problem where the alignment of the door was bad, so there were often times when it wouldn't open. Old shed, that little concrete building at the back of the gymnasium? Ah, that shed. The one which they stopped using after some students got trapped inside. Ugh, that's a grisly fate. Yeah, that's the one. The students were second years from the badminton club. Ah, yeah, something like that did happen. Why is it playing the sad music? What's going on here? It was early in the new year, on a cold winter's day. The first 3 days of the new year having passed, I had applied for extra lessons and requested to stay behind at school and help out, because I felt bad about staying at the Arimas. But even that was only until 5 in the evening. It had become dark, and I was forced out of the classroom as all the teachers were going home. The middle of winter. Even if it was only 5, the surroundings really had darkened. The weather report had predicted snow for that day, and the cold was extra harsh. And so, just when I decided to head straight home for the day, I heard a banging sound from the old shed, and I went to check things out. Is anyone in there? I asked, and I heard the voices of several female students who replied from inside the shed. They had been trapped in there for 2 hours. While packing up the club equipment, they had closed the door because of the cold, and now it wouldn't open again. They couldn't open the door no matter what, and wanted me to call one of the teachers for help. But the teachers had all gone home. Even if I were to call them now on the phone, it'd at least take another hour. The cold on that day was truly terrible. In the kind of cold that should have prompted snow, I thought it would be cruel to leave those girls stuck in the shed wearing only their PE uniforms for another hour. Whew, excuse me. After some hesitation and confirming that no one else was around, I took off my glasses and cut the line on the shed door. The door opened, and about 5 female students, eyes red from crying, poured out. Ahem. Come to think of it, there was something like that. But I'm surprised you know about it. The captain of the trapped badminton club told me this has to do with the club's survival, so don't tell anyone else. It was almost like she was threatening me. Threatening to hit you with the badminton paddle. Or whatever you call it. Ah, Tono-kun. You had no interest in knowing who was trapped inside there, did you? Listen, I was one of those badminton club members. Yumizuka sounds like she's pouting. So in other words, I still remember it well. When I think about it now, it was only being trapped inside a shed. But at that time, it was cold and dark, and I was really worried. Everyone thought we were going to freeze to death like that. My stomach was growling from hunger, too. I was just about to collapse. That must have been rough. I can't really empathize with her, so I give a half-hearted response. Unconcerned, Yumizuka continues her collections, bringing up old events anew. And just when everyone was trembling, you came along and asked, "Is anyone in there?" In your usual unexcited voice. And then the captain got angry and shouted, "Can't you tell just by looking? Do you remember?" Yeah, I remember. There was a loud bang when she threw a bat at the door. I was really surprised. That's right, Yumizuka says, laughing. But when we heard all the teachers had gone home, we really lost all hope. We couldn't stand being there for even a minute longer, yet we had to feed the prospect of being trapped until the next day. Just when we were thinking about how miserable the world was, you knocked on the door and said, "I might be able to open the door if you can keep it a secret." Yeah, and then I heard another bang and someone said, "If it opened that easily, we wouldn't be suffering in here." She was really angry. Ahaha. Yeah, the captain felt responsible for us getting trapped, so she didn't have much patience to spare. But soon after that, the door opened. Everyone was happy that the captain's knocking with the bat must have weakened and ran outside, but I was watching you aimlessly stand by the door. Yumizuka looks at me warmly, but that only troubles me. To me, it means nothing, so I can't really appreciate her gratitude. I was crying really hard at that time. My eyes just felt like they were swelling up, and they looked terrible. What do you think you said when you saw me like that? I don't know. What did I say? I really don't remember, so I asked, as if someone else had done. Despite this, Yumizuka still looks at me happily. You put your hand on my head and said, "Hurry up and go home and eat some ozoni." I was a little embarrassed because I was trembling so much from the cold. I knit my brows. I didn't know what I meant back then. Even he's like, I just said random things. I think you meant for me to warm up my body by having some ozoni. I see. It was right after New Year's, after all. That does sound like the kind of stupid thing I would say. Oh, sorry, there's no... Yeah. It's the stupid kind of thing I would say. Now that it's better put to me like this, I regret not having picked something better to say. Back then, there are plenty of reliable people at school, I thought. But if I ever really need to be saved, it will be someone like Tono-kun who saves me. You're exaggerating. Look, it's like how a baby chick thinks the first human it meets is its mother. I just snapped to help you. That's a weird comparison to make, Shiki. That's not true. Ever since then, I really believed that you'd come and help me no matter what the problem was. Her expression is quite resolute. You're giving me too much credit, Yumizuka-san. I'm not that reliable of a person. It's alright. That's why I believe, so let me keep believing it, she pronounces this while staring straight at me, and I am too embarrassed to offer a rebuttal. Well, I guess you can believe what you want. Isn't that right? So if I'm ever in a pinch, you'll come and help me, right? Yumizuka asks me, smiling. To be honest, that would be kind of troubling. Despite what she thinks, I'm not that sort of guy who can do everything. I'm not, but when she faces me with that smile, I don't want to destroy that faith she has in me. Yeah, if it's within my power, I'll help you. Yep. Thank you, Tono-kun. I know it's a bit late to say this, but I was really happy because of what you said to me back then. Saying that, Yumizuka suddenly stops. Naturally, I stop too. I've always wanted to talk with you like this, Tono-kun. Somewhere in her voice was a hint of wistfulness. Perhaps it's because of the red light from the sunset, but somehow, Yomizuka looks lonely. What do you mean? You can talk to me anytime. No, I can't. Inui-kun is always around you, and besides, I can't become someone like you, Tono-kun. With that reserved answer, Yumizuka draws away from me. Well, my house is this way, so I'll see you at school tomorrow. Bye-bye. Smiling, Yumizuka waves her hand and begins walking down another street. Bye, Yumizuka. It's weird how we have like this moment with her, and she's not. Oh, you can really tell her route was cut, is what I'm saying. About my little sister, Akiha. Go to my sitting room and talk with Akiha. Go in my own room, go watch. Okay, talk with Akiha. I've already seen this one. Alright, new content. Left by myself, I lie on my bed. This house from 8 years ago. My blood relative from 8 years ago. It feels a little like they belong to someone else. I wonder what's going to happen to me now. Grumbling to no one in particular, I fall asleep. Ah-woo! I hear the wave-like sound of something's voice. Ah-woo! Something is howling. It's too sharp and high-pitched to be a stray dog. Ah-woo! It echoes in my eardrums. Is it howling at the moon? Ah-woo! This doesn't feel right. The beastly howling is beginning to give me a headache. Ah-woo! It doesn't stop. Ah-woo! 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 What the dog doing? Just shut up already. I wake up. I can hear the sound of a dog barking outside the window. The clock indicates it is just past 11. This is more than just a neighborhood nuisance. Damn, I can't sleep like this. The dog's howling comes from somewhere near the mansion's fence. It doesn't seem like I can go back to sleep at this rate. Do I go back to sleep? Yes, go to sleep. The howling continues. There's no way I can sleep like this. I can't sleep, but that's just normal. I'm sleepy, so I'll pass. Pulling the sheets over me, I stretch out on the bed. I can just think of the howling as the sound of something mundane as cars driving by on the street. Today's been a very long day. I'm mentally tired from eating dinner in this unfamiliar mansion and my conversations with Akia and everyone else. After all that, the howling is just background noise. I close my eyes and gently fall asleep. Sorry, Nero. Unless... I think I just heard something. Half awake, I look at the clock. It's just past 2. It's been about 2 hours since I heard the dogs howling. The dog's howling has already stopped. The mansion is so quiet, I can hear the clock ticking in the silence. Ooh? I hear it again. Inside the mansion, from the lobby? Could it be a burglar? It's not impossible. The mansion's contents are outrageously valuable. On top of that, with no one here now except Kohaku-san, Hisui, Akia, and myself, it's very insecure. Getting out of bed, I slip out of the room quietly. If it's a burglar, Akia and everyone else will be in danger, so I can't let this one go. I'll just look down the second floor into the lobby. That should be safe enough. Who could it be? There's nothing wrong here. No, someone's there. The figure that enters from the entrance and crosses the lobby. Oh, hi, Akia. With wobbling, uncertain steps is... Akia? She's not going to her room on the second floor, but to the first floor of the west wing. The only thing there are Kohaku-san's room and my old man's room. What's she doing at this time of night? I can murmur all I want, but I won't be getting any answers. After gazing at the lobby for a while, I decide to return to my room. Shiki's just like, it's fine. I'm not investigating that. Well, she probably had something to do or went to see Kohaku-san. I feel bad about sneaking around and watching her, and I don't want to just ask her about everything she does. Sleep, sleep. There's school tomorrow. I bury myself in bed and collapse my eyes. And close my eyes. As I fall asleep, my thoughts keep returning over and over to Akiha's hollowed-eyed figure in the lobby and how something seemed wrong. Really, you couldn't have fooled me. Would never have guessed there was something wrong. Inversion Impulse 2, second day. Back then, the whole mansion was like a giant playground. The garden, a deep forest. The house, a tall castle. We played in our own little world, which would take days to explore. Every day was fun. No one thought about ever growing up, and we believed that days and nights would always be the same. It was just a childhood spent playing like puppies. We got along wonderfully, and were the best of playmates. Whenever I turned back, Akia would be there, waving her hands and hiding shyly. Yes, always the same. Back then, the whole mansion was like a giant playground. The garden, a deep forest. The house, a tall castle. We played in our own little world, which would take days to explore. Hey, I think we're stuck in a rut. Good morning. I hear an unfamiliar voice. The dream disappears, and all that remains is the feeling of my languid, waking body. It is morning. Time to wake up, Shiki-sama. An unfamiliar voice greets me. Stop calling me Shiki-sama already. I told you yesterday it sends chills down my back. I wake up. I get up! Hisui stands far from the bed like a statue. Where am I? Good morning, Shiki-sama. A girl in a maid uniform bows. Ah, yeah, I came home, right. I push myself up and look around the room. Good morning, Hisui. Thanks for coming to wake me. There is no need to thank me. It is my duty to come and wake you, Shiki-sama. Hisui answers indifferently, completely expressionless. Ah, really? Okay, then. Even in an unfavorable light, I think Hisui's features are beautiful. It should be wonderful for such a girl to wake me every morning, but as Hisui never smiles, I don't feel that happy about it. She really is the kind of guy who tells women to smile more. What a shame. If Hisui only had half of Kohaku's brightness, she would really be cute. Do you need something? Realizing I'm looking at her, Hisui stares straight back at me. No, nothing at all. Waking up with you there makes me feel like I'm really at the Tono's mansion. Now then, getting off the bed, I stretch out both arms. Shiki-sama, there is no time. From the mansion to your school is a 30-minute trip. This leaves only 20 minutes for breakfast. Huh? Ah! It's already 7 o'clock? I gasp in amazement after looking at the clock. My repeated awakenings last night must have messed with my sleep pattern. Your uniform is folded and awaits you over there. Please come to the sitting room after you've changed. Sleep patterns, huh? I know all about those. Damn it, if you're going to wake me up earlier. Muttering selfishly to myself, I reach for the uniform. It's folded neatly, and the shirt has even been ironed. Passing my wrists through the sleeves feels good. It's that fresh, brand new feeling. Akia and Kohaku-san are relaxing in the sitting room. Akia is wearing the uniform of the Asami Ladies Academy, a famous school for young girls. They are drinking teas together gracefully, as if breakfast had ended a long time ago. Greet Akiha. Hey, good morning, Akia. Good morning, Nissan. Good morning, Shiki-san. Breakfast is ready in the dining hall. Eat up. In contrast to Akia, Kohaku-san greets me with a cheerful smile. Ah, thank you very much. It looks like you've been having your after-meal tea. Have you already finished breakfast, Akia? Of course. Excuse me. Sorry. Give me a second. Just needed to get my bearings. I kind of, like, lost my place for a minute. I didn't care when you get up, Nissan, but please at least take some time for breakfast. Having breakfast after 7 is a sign of sloppiness. I think having breakfast at 7 is pretty normal. What time do you get up, Akia? I get up at 5 in the morning. What about it? Wow. I don't know why she gets up so early, but it was so perfect a time to get up that I have no room to retort. What is it? Frankly, as I'm a beautiful person, I just wake up whenever I feel like it. It's the rest of you who wait on my schedule. Besides, your school is 30 minutes from here on foot, isn't it? Please don't be late to a school that's so close by. It'd be an embarrassment. Ugh. Aki's words are filled with thorns that stab me. But as to the truth, there's no opening for a counter-argument, not the thorns. Akia-sama, it's almost time to leave. Is this alright? I know. Sheesh, don't be so worried over stuff like this on the first day. Muttering some complaints, Akia stands up. Well, I must say goodbye. Nissan, you should apply yourself to your studies today. Akia leaves the sitting room. Kohaku-san follows, seeing her off. Apply myself to my studies? She's quite ceremonious about trivial things in an old-fashioned kind of way. I guess it's because she's been disciplined under our old man for the last 8 years. Well, I guess I'd have gone to school even if she hadn't said anything. I scratched my cheek. There was something about Akia's face as she left. Because of it, I paid no attention at all to her various admonitions this morning. Of course, I clasped my hands together. For some reason, Akia's face then seemed to resemble her face from long ago. Are we gonna see Baby Babu Akia? Well, I guess we kind of see her from the back in that one flashback where Shiki's beating a kid to death. But actually, it wasn't really him. It was Roa, and he was experiencing the memory from Roa's perspective. Okay, yes, I know. I paid attention to the visual novel. No need to correct me. After eating the breakfast Kohaku-san prepared, I exit into the lobby. Hisui was waiting there with my bag. Shiki-sama, have you enough time? Yeah, it should be only 20 minutes to school if I run. It's only 7:30, so I should be fine if I take the long way. Seeming satisfied with this answer, Hisui bows her head in assent. Then allow me to see you out. Huh? Yeah, thank you. I still feel terribly awkward having my own servant. Oh, Shiki-san, please wait just a moment. With pattering footsteps, Kohaku-san runs down from the second floor. Hisui steps back and falls silent as Kohaku-san approaches. Huh? Weren't you with Akia? Lady Akia goes to school by car. Since I had something to give to you this morning, I stayed behind. Something to give me? Yes, this came from the Arima family yesterday. Kohaku-san smiles. Huh? But I have all my luggage already. The things I used while I was in the Arima's house would all belong to them, so all I've got are my own clothes. Really? But this was sent here nonetheless. Kohaku-san sends me a thin wooden box, perhaps 20 centimeters long. It's not heavy at all. Kohaku-san, I've never seen this before. Well, apparently it was left to you by your departed father. But it was given to you in your will. By my old man? I can't feel anything about that. What's the old man who expelled me from this mansion 8 years ago leaving me things? Oh well. Kohaku-san, please take it to my OC room for me. To my room for me. Why did I say OC? Ugh. Lost in the sauce a little bit. Sorry about that. My reading skills are a little sloppy tonight. It's been a bit of a week for your princess. He's a little sleepy. But don't worry, we'll truck on for a little bit. Ahem. Please take it to my room for me. Kawaku-san is staring intently at the wooden box. She seems almost like a child who wants a toy. Stare. No, she is a child. If I remember right, when we got the knife in Nearside Roots, it was Hisui who looked at it and was like, that's when you learn about her weird thing with knives. Or swords in general, or blades. I get it. You want to know what's inside, right? Oh, not at all. I merely wondered for a moment. Like I said, you do wonder what's inside. All right, let's open it. 1, 2, 3. With a dry sound, the wooden box opens. Inside there is a 10-centimeter bar of thin iron. It's an iron bar? Undecorated and worn, and has finger marks all over it. The old man must have really hated me to leave me a piece of junk like this. No, Shiki-san, it's a fruit knife. Kawaku-san takes the iron bar out of the box. See? Isn't it one of those folding knives? 1, 2, 3. With the sound of sliding metal, a 10-centimeter blade pops out from the bar. I see. It certainly is a knife. It's old, but it seems pretty solid. The year and the era it was made in is written on the back. Kawaku-san replaces the blade and hands over the knife. Certainly, there's a number written on the grip. The character 7, and under it, the character Knight. 7 Knight, huh? I'm still not quite sure what this means, because I was like, oh, I bet the game is going to take place over 7 days and nights, but I don't think that's the case. It's more like 10 or 13. Nei-san, there is no error by that name. Oh, this is Hisui, okay. Just says Nanatsu Yoru. Ah! I turn around in surprise. Hisui, who had been silent until now, was looking at the knife over my shoulders. You surprised me, Hisui. You should say something. You don't have to look over my shoulder like that, you know. If you want to see it, I'll show it to you. Ah, Hisui's cheeks become faintly red. But please, excuse me, that knife was so beautiful that I could not help myself. Beautiful? You really think it's beautiful? It looks kind of beat up to me. Not at all. The tempering of the blade is masterful. I think it is a knife with its own proper history. Really? It looks to me like a piece of junk. But since Hisui seems so convinced, I begin to feel the same thing. In its own way, I guess it's not such a bad inheritance. Yeah, you can murder women with this. 7 Knights. Maybe that's the name of this fruit knife. Maybe, though I can't imagine him naming a knife like that. Whatever the case may be, it's obvious that it's an antique. Well, in any case, I believe in taking what's given to me. I replace the blade and put the knife in my trouser pocket. Shiki-sama, have you enough time? Ah, I have to get going. Well, Kawaku-san, thanks for the delivery. Kawaku smiles and waves off. Interesting setting where you can just, like, bring a knife to school. I guess he keeps it well hidden. I come out of the gates. Hisui follows in silence. Hisui, you're seeing me off? Hisui nods wordlessly. Shiki-sama, what time shall we expect your return? It seems Hisui will continue to use sama to the bitter end. Well, if I take time to argue it now, I'll be late for school. I'll complain about the honorific later. Shiki-sama? Yeah. Probably around 4 o'clock, I think. I don't do any club activities. When I don't hang out with Arihiko, I usually get back pretty early in the evening. Hisui bows deeply at my random estimate. It's random. He's like, I don't know, 4 o'clock, I guess. I understand. Please take care on the way. I'm not sure what to take care about, but she's probably just worried about my health. Yeah, thanks. You too, Hisui. I return the goodwill with good intentions. With an energetic wave of the hand at Hisui, I leave the gates of the mansion behind. I go down the hill. Since I've attended school from the Arima's house up until now, this is my first time taking this route. Not many from our school. Apparently, there are not many people from my school who live around here. 7:30 in the morning. I can't see anyone running along the streets in a school uniform except me. I mean, that could really just be because you're super late now. Slowly, I begin to see some people in school uniforms intermingled with the crowd. This is around where the road to school begins. Where is Yumizuka-san? Well, I'm not going to be that lucky. I recall the smiling face of the classmate who departed here yesterday saying, "My house is this way." As I think of Yumizuka Satsuki in the classroom, my pace quickens a little and I hurry towards the classroom. I leave the residential area and reach the crossroads. The gates will be closed in about 10 minutes. I start to run across the asphalt. I made it! Seems like it took 20 minutes rather than 30 from the mansion. I'll need to leave around 7 if I want to go slowly since I ran several times on the way. When I get to the classroom, I notice the air is buzzing. Although the classroom in the morning is always noisy, there's something different about the noise today. I walk to my desk by the window. Arihiko is waiting there sullenly. Arihiko, did something happen? Dunno. It's nothing big. There's a rumor that someone in class ran away from home. Ah, that's what all the fuss is about then. I sit down at my desk with a sigh. What do you mean, nothing big? Who ran away? Who? How should I know? But we'll know when the homeroom starts. Whoever's seat is vacant, they must be the one who ran away from home. Ah, that's true. It's true, but Arihiko's attitude seems a little dry. One of our classmates really has run away from home. I think it's a bit too much just to ignore it as someone else's problem. Arihiko, aren't you being insensitive? One of our classmates ran away from home. Aren't you worried? You're the only one who's seriously worried, dumbass. Everyone's talking about it because it's an interesting thing to talk about. It's not as if you or I had run away from home, so there's no need to worry, is there? Now I remember, this guy's cold like that to everyone except his friends. Though I guess I am a bit worried. Running away from home at a time like this, they'd have to be really brave or really... Question mark? At a time like this? What kind of a time is that? I told you yesterday, Tono. There's a serial killer going around in the streets right now. I don't know who ran away from home, but they'd have no excuse if they got attacked by him while living on the streets. Can't be. There's no way that'd happen. Tono, you should watch TV more. There's been 8 victims already, and he doesn't discriminate. You'd better think again if you think you're safe. The town's empty at night nowadays. The only people who go out are drunkards and policemen, which is why it's so boring. Arihiko's voice is very serious. It is weird to me that, like, Shiki apparently lived such a sheltered life under the Arimas. He didn't hear at all about this mass murderer that is so scary, everybody just stays inside at night. Oh, Kuni Fuji's here. It's homeroom at last. Arihiko returns to his seat. After a while, everyone is seated. Only one seat is empty. There's no mistaking it. The desk of Yumizuka Satsuki is empty. Well, my house is this way. Bye-bye. See you at school tomorrow. She's our runaway, huh? Yumizuka said that when we parted yesterday. I don't know what happened at home, but I can't see her making that smiling face before running away. Yumizuka is absent. Yumizuka Satsuki is merely treated as absent as attendance is taken. As if nothing is amiss, homeroom proceeds. I ask about Yumizuka. I know Yumizuka was smiling yesterday. I didn't think that she could make such a face, say bye-bye, and then run away from home. Sensei! What is it, Tono? A question? Yes. Is it true that a student in our class has run away from home? Instantly, the air in the classroom solidifies. He frowns, then, with a difficult expression, bows his head in assent. Yes, that is why we heard from Yumizuka Satsuki's parents. Yumizuka didn't come home last night, but they've been searching, and I'm sure they've already found her. Saying so, he departs. The classroom becomes noisy again. I have a bad feeling about this. It's really heavy. A terrible feeling, as if my body is tied down to this chair. This chair. This chair. This chair. I still feel down even when lunchtime arrives. While the news of Yumizuka Satsuki running away from home was shocking, it seems it wasn't a topic that could last forever. The classroom is just like always, and it seemed that I'm the only one troubled by our absent classmate. Tono, let's go eat lunch. That's okay. I don't really feel like it. I guess it can't be helped. Don't be troubled with other people's problems too much. Other people's problems, huh? Arihiko's words are too close to the truth. Huh? You're not with Inoue-kun today? Senpai, what are you doing in our classroom? Has Shiki said Shiki things yet? He's been pretty normal so far. We're mostly retreading the beginning right now, still, so he hasn't really done anything unhinged yet. Senpai, what are you doing in our classroom? Well, I thought I'd have lunch with you guys. Tono-kun, aren't you going to eat something? Oh, wait, what? There we go. I accidentally right-clicked and hit display image. Senpai sits down on the desk, looking at me anxiously. Nah, I just don't seem to have any appetite today. Are you not feeling well? Something like that. Don't worry about me. You go on to the dining hall. Arihiko's probably already there. Oh, you're not energetic at all. I don't know what happened, but if you don't eat lunch, you'll just feel even worse. That's true. But since I'm not hungry, there's not a lot I can do. Alright, I'll take you somewhere special. It's really a secret, but you're special, Tono-kun. With that, she grabs my arm and pulls me out of the chair. I was not expecting this much interaction with Seal. Seal-senpai takes me to an unused classroom in the very corner of the school building. Huh? This is a Japanese-style room, isn't it? That's right. It's very relaxing since no one else is here. Well, that's true, but isn't this place locked, Senpai? Yes, it's usually only open to members of the tea ceremony club, so normal students can't get in. Saying so, she takes a key out of her pocket. Oh, are you in the tea ceremony club, Senpai? Yes. Well, actually, I'm the only member. With a laugh, Senpai goes into the Japanese-style room. The inside of the room feels special, as if it isn't part of the school. The sensation of the tatami and the sunlight through the windows feels very relaxing. Tatami gaishi! Seal's protecting, that is funny. Seal monologuing to herself in her head. He isn't eating because he killed Yumizuka. He's all Roa now. I'm suspicious. As I said earlier, I'm the only member of the tea club. Thanks to that, I can use this place freely during lunchtime and after class. Here. Laughing, Senpai lays out cushions. I'll make some tea now, so please wait right there, Tono-kun. Senpai heads towards the sink to prepare the tea. There's no point in standing up, so I do as I'm told and sit down on the cushion. Perhaps it was the magic of the Japanese-style room. That chaotic maelstrom that had been raging in my chest calms down, and now I can finally begin to think calmly about what has happened with Yumizuka. Thanks for waiting. Here you are. Now, let's have some lunch. Actually, I have some things to ask you, so it's just as well we're having lunch here. You have something to talk to me about? Puzzled, I drink the tea I'm offered. As I'm in the Japanese-style room, my posture reflexively straightened and my mind has become tranquil. Although I had no connection to it, the Arima family heads a tea ceremony school. Perhaps it was because I had been raised in that kind of environment that I feel more at ease in a Japanese-style room than a Western-style one. Senpai looks at me with a troubled expression. What's wrong, Senpai? You look a bit worried. Yeah? I was just a little surprised at how calm you were about all of this, Tono-kun. Really? Well... My family is a strict one, so I'm used to these kinds of things. More importantly, Senpai, didn't you have something you wanted to talk to me about? I do. The continuation of what we were talking about earlier. What were we talking about earlier? You mean my family? Senpai nods to indicate a yes. Well, if you don't mind, I would like to hear more about it. I was curious about it since we stopped halfway. It's not that I mind, but hearing about my family isn't very interesting. It'd be a waste of time. I don't mind if it's not interesting, I just want to hear about it. You sure are eccentric, Senpai. Maybe I am, Senpai laughs. Alright then, let's continue from before. You said you moved to your home. What do you mean by that? Senpai asked, full of curiosity. Well, the conversation back then must have been pretty fragmented for Senpai, since she didn't know any of the circumstances. Yeah, you're terrible at context clues, Shiki. You gotta telegraph more. Show, don't tell. Let's see. Basically, I'm a guy who's been disinherited. I was seriously injured after getting caught up in a terrible traffic accident when I was 9 years old. The injuries themselves somehow healed, but after that I easily collapsed from anemia and threw up my food. That's why I was entrusted to my relatives, the Arimas, while I recuperated. So in other words, the Arimas have been your parents who raised you since you were 9, right? That's right. I knew my old man hated me for some reason, and that once I had been entrusted to the Arimas, I would never go back home. Go back to the Tono mansion, that is. That's why, well, I thought I'd just continue to live as the son of the Arimas forever. That's what I thought, but my old man kicked to the bucket recently. That's why they told me to return to the mansion. But now the old man is no longer there, and I finally agreed. And that, pretty much, is my domestic situation. I end my story like that. Seal Senpai gives a little nod silently. May I just ask one thing? Sure, if I can answer it. Go ahead. Alright then, I'll ask. Did you dislike your previous family? My previous family? The Arimas who had raised me as my parents? My mother and father who weren't my real parents? And some familiar building which, without a doubt, was home to strangers? But completely regardless of that... No, I liked them. They were people who didn't care that I wasn't related to them by blood. They were so warm to me that I felt bad about being depressed all by myself. And for them to love me no matter what, I didn't think it was a bad thing. I was loved by those people. That's why, soon, even one day sooner, I have to truly become family to them. I had been telling myself those words since I was young. Since a very, very long time ago. Over and over, I swore, till I would practically pass out. I really like how Shiki seemed to have a genuinely good relationship with the Arimas. I don't know if it's ever elaborated on in this VN what his home life was like with them, or in some other material, because obviously that's where Miyako comes from. She's the Arima's blood daughter, so she's basically Shiki's adoptive sibling. I think she's from that other sequel, right? That one sequel people talk about that has Koma's first visual appearance and Nanaya in it. Yeah, she is kind of asking questions like Columbo right now. She's clearly, knowing the full context of Seal's route, she's clearly basically investigating him right now. They treated me well, and I think I responded to their affection too. Between us, even though I knew we were just playing at being a family, even if it was all just an act, I didn't feel any pain. No, I was happy instead. In a way, I had considered the Arima parents and me to be the ideal nuclear family. That's weird. But it was no good, was it? Yeah, despite everything, there was a line I couldn't cross. This isn't your real family. No matter what I did, I couldn't get those words out of my head. I knew I should have been ignoring it, but I just couldn't do it. I don't know if you'd call it a childhood experience, but it had already become like a curse to me. Somehow, no matter where I was, I felt like a stranger to my family. Senpai is silent. Avoiding my gaze, she huddles her shoulders apologetically. See? It was boring after all, right? This scene has interesting context, too, knowing now what we do about Seal, where she's asking Shiki whether his experience with adoptive parents felt fake or real, and in that way it kind of feels like she's trying to confirm her own fears about her own relationships with people, right? Because she's basically pretending to be friendly with Shiki right now, and she's like, well, if he felt his relationship with his adopted parents was fake, then my relationship with him is definitely fake. I think it's something like that. That's why I said it would be a waste of time. No, that's not true. It was a very meaningful story. Saying that, Senpai begins to eat her own lunch. I follow her example and start nibbling off the bread I've bought. Thanks to my conversation with Senpai, my appetite has returned. Despite that, I still couldn't even finish half of it. Music stops. So, Tono-kun, is anything troubling you right now? Why that all of a sudden? I don't have any worries in particular. Then I suppose the reason you aren't eating much must be because of your health. Senpai stares at me. Somehow, her gaze feels very penetrating. It feels difficult to remain silent under a gaze like that. I don't have any worries, but Senpai, what do you think of the recent killings? I couldn't help but ask. The stories about my classmate who wasn't returned home won't leave my mind. Killings? Oh, you mean that business about the vampires? Yes. There's already been 8 victims, right? I haven't caught the news lately, so I'm not too sure about this subject. Oh, you know anything, Senpai? Well, I know as much as anyone else does, but no, not the details. It's just that the word vampire sends chills down my spine. Ah, you mean how it seems the victims have had their blood drained? Strange, isn't it? I wonder what it could mean. Who knows? It's impossible to know how much people think. But I wonder why they've nicknamed him the vampire. Question mark? What an odd question. Well, isn't it because the blood was drained from the bodies? It'd only be natural to call them vampires, wouldn't it? Uh-oh. That's the lore dump song. Do you know the folklore about vampires, Tono-kun? I feel like I'm being asked that question by Nasu and not CL. Suddenly breaking into a smile, Senpai asks an even stranger question. Vampire folklore? You mean how people who have their blood sucked by vampires become vampires themselves? Yeah, if that was true, there shouldn't be any bodies left, right? Supposing some vampire was the killer, there'd be no bodies, Tono-kun. I see. That's true, but it's just a nickname, isn't it? Do you really believe in vampires, Senpai? Not at all. After all, the fact that the bodies are there show that it's not a vampire, right? Smiling, Senpai gives a reply that seems slightly off the point. But couldn't you also think of it this way? Maybe the victims whose bodies have been found died because they couldn't become vampires. Perhaps there are those who can be turned and those who can't. The people who can become vampires won't have their corpses even if they were attacked by vampires, because even now they're still alive out there somewhere. But those who can't become vampires just die, and so their bodies wind up being found. Well, that's... Senpai is still smiling. I know it's only a joke, but I'm having difficulty laughing it off. She's just like, well, you're not gonna meet Arquid in this route, so I'll do the lore dump, I guess. Oh, I'm just joking. It'd be like some kind of horror story if that were really true. I don't like scary stories, so please don't ask me things like that. What? It looked to me like you were really getting into it, Senpai. Yes, I don't like scary stories, but I do like scaring you, Tono-kun. Did I do something to make her bear a grudge against me? But all jokes aside, Tono-kun, lately the streets have become dangerous at night. You mustn't go out, even though you're an energetic young man. Senpai gives me a warning that sounds like a joke. I can't tell how serious she is. Lunch break ends and 5th period starts. The lesson on classics goes in one ear and out the other. Well, my house is this way. Bye-bye. See you at school tomorrow. That's what Yumizuka said. She wouldn't say that and then run away from home. I have a bad feeling about this. The killer who wanders the town at night. It's dangerous to go out at night, the word Senpai said. Uh-oh. We're getting some implications. Perhaps it was because of that red imagery surrounding us when we parted. Suddenly, a vision of Yumizuka Satsuki soaked in red blood appears before my eyes. Gah. It happens suddenly. My vision goes white, and my sense of balance reels. Not my anemia. My field of view lurches. Something lurks in the back of my head, and my consciousness feels heavy. This is bad. I know this feeling. Sudden dizziness prior to an anemic attack. The blood accumulated in the brain's blood vessels becomes a black lump, making my head sway and my vision will go pitch black. Feels as if the blackness is pushing its way out of my brain into my eyeballs. It's gross. I like that. I like that metaphor, but it's gross. This is bad. I haven't been collapsing during class lately. Red. Is it because Yumizuka's blood red image is too fresh in my mind? My vision distorts. As darkness envelops it, I somehow grab onto my desk. But it's useless. There's no strength in my fingers. I fall towards the floor. As I do, I remember her words. Tono-kun, help me when I'm in a pinch, okay? I told you that's impossible. Whatever you may think of me, I'm not Superman. Will I still be your Superman? Sorry for dragging you along with me, Arihiko. Yeah, I'm used to you collapsing without warning like that. Honestly, sleeping in the infirmary up to the very last minute? Just who do you think you are? You should have woken me up. There's nothing conscientious about letting me sleep until they lock us in the building. Shut up. You think I'm going to wake up a sick person? You just collapse again. Come on, we need to get back. It's already 7, you know. Arihiko walks down the corridor. After that, I collapsed from anemia and was left to sleep in the infirmary. Time passed until school lockup time at 6:30, when I was awoken by Arihiko's punch. He punched him awake. And so we came to be walking along this deserted corridor. Hey, come on, Tono. What are you doing? Sorry. I'm coming. I shake my still woozy head and follow Arihiko. Alright, you can go home by yourself from here. See you at school tomorrow. Thanks. Sorry as always, Arihiko. Don't worry, pay me back in double in the future. Arihiko's answer isn't exactly in proper Japanese. Smiling wryly to myself, I decided to head back to my own house. I reached the intersection. It's still 7 in the morning, but there's no one around. I guess because of the killer, fewer people could go out at night. The only figure I can see now is the back of a woman far away. Ah, blonde? Uh-oh, white woman spotted. The distant woman seems to be a foreigner. Even from far away, I can see her golden hair rippling as she walks. It draws my eyes after her. Even though I only see her from behind, I can tell she's beautiful. Thump. Suddenly my heart pounds loudly. My throat becomes inexplicably dry and parched. I break out in a cold sweat. My head aches. It's not like the anemia earlier. Rather than fading, my consciousness becomes sharper. I gasp. That back. Watching the woman's golden hair, my head hurts terribly. Yeah, it's just the Kill Bill sirens. That's exactly what I imagine too in abstract every time Shiki sees Arquid. Wah, 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 da, 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 da. My thoughts feel like they're melting into a haze. I will follow behind her, and then? What am I going to do after that? The woman disappears into a group of apartments in the shopping district. I have to follow. I don't know why, but I think that. My legs move on towards the apartments. But before that... Ah! Didn't expect to get scared by Yumizuka. Only for an instant. Out of the corner of my eye, I see the figure of Yumizuka Satsuki. Yumizuka-san? My head becomes clear. Yumizuka. It was only for an instant, but without a doubt, that was Yumizuka. Was she going towards town? What's she doing out at a time like this? I was so mad I didn't care if she disappeared or if she ran away from home. It's too dangerous for a girl to walk around town at night alone. Yumizuka walks through the crowded town. She's so far away I'm not certain, but even if I've mistaken her, I decided to run after her and tell her to stop. Wait, Yumizuka-san. Wow. Yeah. Seeing Yumizuka just totally derailed Shiki's murderous intent, I guess. Yumizuka glances back as if she heard my voice. That face, there's no confusing it. The girl walking ahead of me is unmistakably Yumizuka Satsuki, and the expression on her face wasn't frightening. Ah, but I felt a chill run down my spine. Thump. My heart beats quickly. The back of my head becomes heavy and my throat burns. An ache assaults my head just as it did with the blonde woman earlier. What is this? It's weird. The inside of my body is burning. I feel dizzy as if I'm in the grip of a terrible fever. In that moment, Yumizuka begins to walk again. Wait, Yumizuka-san. I call out, running. Yumizuka walks on, not turning. Can't you hear me, Yumizuka? I urge my hot body onwards. Ooh, my hot body. But no matter how much I try, I can't catch her. No matter how fast I run, I can't catch up to her even as she walks. Something is strange. I know that, but I can't tell what it is. Right now, all I can do is to follow Yumizuka Satsuki. And then, I lose sight of her. Yumizuka Satsuki, whom I had been chasing without success, is nowhere to be seen. Shit, what the hell is going on? I stop, catching my breath. My chest heaves deeply. Though I hadn't realized it until now, I must have been running for a long time. What time is it? Resting my hands on my knee, I glance up at a nearby store window. It's already midnight? Can't be. I couldn't have been running for that long. It's hard to believe, but the clock is correct. Looking around, most of the shopping district is closed. I should go back. Even though I'm worried about Yumizuka, I feel like I won't be able to find her anymore. I chased her for almost 4 hours, calling her name all this time, but she did not even respond. What was she thinking? With a big sigh, I decided to head back to the mansion. Interesting. There's no one around. The shopping district still had some people, but the way back to the mansion should be completely empty. The words serial killer run through my mind. Midnight, walking through town alone. I might be an easy prey for such an attacker. Bump. A sound. Somewhere behind a building, there is a sound. That sound actually spooked me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, ooh. I did a little jump. I think it is the sound of someone falling? The back alley? The noise came only once. An eerie silence surrounds me. I have a bad feeling about this. Did someone collapse in the back alley? Did the wind just knock something over? Whatever it was, I probably shouldn't get involved. But, is it because I was looking for Yumizuka a while ago? I feel like that she's there for some reason. What should I do? There's no one around. The only help I can rely on is this knife Kohaku-san handed me this morning. I go and look. I can't ignore my feelings. With a killer skulking around town at night looking for victims, I shouldn't be investigating suspicious sound in alleyways. But I still remember Yumizuka's smiling face from yesterday. There's no reason for Yumizuka to be there, but if she is, she might need my help. I'll never forgive myself if I just ignore this. Alright. Putting my hand in my pocket, there is the cold touch of iron. Even though I don't intend to use it, it's comforting to know that I'm not unarmed. And if it comes to it, I have my eyes, too. Sensei said not to use them recklessly, but she'll find it acceptable if I use it against a serial killer. I guess probably. Yeah, Aoko would probably be okay with that. The sound, it came from here. Preparing myself, I step into the alley. Step into the yard. Thump. My heart pounds. The back alley is quiet. The noise coming from the open area at the far end. The back of my head hurts. As if convulsing on the utmost strain, my racked spine hurts as if it's about to rip itself out of my body. Why is it? I can't think, yet my instincts shout at me. Don't go. Don't go any farther. If you do, you won't be able to come back. But it's already too late. I step out of the back alley and into the open space. Uh-huh. That weak voice is all that I can get out. Ooh, what's up? What's going on here? The back alley is a single sheet of crimson. Limbs are strewn amongst the garbage and rubble. Ooh. Not the limbs of dogs or cats the likes. They are all human limbs, blood dripping from fresh meat and bone. The ground and the walls are painted with red blood. A heavy scent fills my nostrils. Thick, like a red fog permeating my body, the choking smell of blood. A face, a face, a face. A face on a severed head, rolling around with an expression of agony. A face shriveled up like a mummy, split in halves. A face with both eyes gouged out, so distorted I can't even tell if it used to be a man or a woman. Unable to make a sound, I merely gaze speechless at the corpses. No, they can't even be called human bodies anymore. Even a badly made sculpture looks better than this. There are 4 bodies. They roll around like scraps of leftover food. I gape in shock at the sea of bodies. The back of my head throbs, my throat is parched, and my breath burns like fire. My fingertips quiver and my mouth distorts. What is this? What is this world before my eyes? Red. Yes, before my eyes everything is that terrible color. But I merely stand. No screaming, no fear. Like the scene of an accident in a movie, I only stare at the back alley. Undoubtedly, this is how my mind is protecting myself. Otherwise, I would have gone mad. A corpse against the wall moves. No, that's wrong. It's not a corpse. It's not like the scrapped hands and feet. It's a living human being with limbs attached. I see something out of place. In this ghoulish spectacle, the response to seeing someone alive is more of astonishment than happiness. But if he's alive, I have to help him. Hello? With my mind still paralyzed, I step towards the living figure. Yeah. Pulling itself up from the sea, it raises its face towards me. A face like a dried-out skull. I leap back reflexively, but the skull moves faster than I do. With a voice crying out, "Here! Here!" He jumps at me. "Here!" A hideous voice right next to me. Looking down, there is a large hole in the skull's throat, preventing him from speaking correctly. Oh, that's gross. The dried up face, the dried up arm reaching for me. In the throat of this bag of bones, vocal cords vibrate in accord with the ghastly voice. Desperately, I try to tear him off me, but he merely raises that ghastly voice and he will not get off. Rip. Its fingers pierce my shoulder. My body arched from pain. The fingers were like a sharp needle. It shreds my skin mercilessly, scooping out nerves and flesh as it goes. Ugh. The pain is so great that I can say nothing else. Though I try to tear him off me, screaming, he is too strong. Whatever I do, he does not move. With a creak, the skull's jaw opens. The mouth opens wide enough to rip off my shoulder with a single bite, and he approaches my face as if saying, "I don't want to die, somebody save me." Stop! I can't even say stop. The guy made only of skin and bones tries to bite my head, and suddenly he collapses. Huh? The awesome power vanishes. The bag of bones in a person's form crumples to the ground and disappears. Softly, like a bad dream, it turns to ash and blows away. What the hell is this? Pain runs through my shoulder. My own blood flows down my back. The pain is real. So this must be real. A terrible nightmare. But it can't be a nightmare because it's not a dream. Tono-kun, it'll be dangerous if you stay there. I turn towards the voice behind me. The mouth of the alleyway where I came from is icy Yumizuka Satsuki. Yumizuka? Good evening. Fancy meeting you in a place like this, huh? As if we had merely bumped into each other at the mall, Yumizuka greets me lightheartedly. Yumizuka, what are you doing out at a time like this? Oh, just going for a walk. But what's Tono-kun doing? Killing so many people here like this is bad, right? Whoa! You've got the wrong impression, girl. killing so many people, huh? I look around me, and I remember the tragic scene I'm surrounded by. In a sea of blood, Tonoshiki stands aghast like a murderer. No! This wasn't me! Oh, of course it was. Everyone's dead, and Tono-kun's alive, so obviously Tono-kun must have killed them. You seem rather matter-of-fact about this, Yumizuka. I'm immediately suspicious of you. No way! It just attacked me! I pointed at the monster that attached to me moments ago. But nothing's there. Even the ashes of the bone have been blown away by the wind. I swallow my breath. Yumizuka is chuckling. It's not. This wasn't me. My head is paralyzed and can only manage broken language. I understand. I can think clearly, but I can't put my thoughts into words. For example, why is Yumizuka at a place like this after running away from home? For example, why is Yumizuka laughing in the face of this tragic scene? Yumizuka-san, Yeah, I know. You just interrupted someone's meal. I'm sorry for sounding mean. I always act against my feelings, so I'm always just acting like this to you. Okay. Yumizuka is still laughing. It's so inappropriate for the scene, I feel a chill. Yumizuka doesn't move from the entrance of the alley. Her arms are positioned strangely, as if she's hiding something behind her back. And, looking closer, there are spots of something red on her sleeve. Yumizuka, What is it? Your face looks scary, Tono-kun. She laughs again. No. Somehow, this girl cannot be Yumizuka Satsuki. Yumizuka, why are you hiding your hands like that? Have I been found out? I guess you're too observant to miss that, huh? I've always liked that about you, Shiki-kun. After emphasizing the Shiki-kun, she brings her hands out. Ugh! Okay, I gotta be real. I did not expect this whatsoever. I did not expect psycho murderer Yumizuka. I did not expect her to be in this much at all, honestly. Just based off of what I had heard about the character. Both hands are dyed crimson. Not yet dry, the blood drips off them in red droplets. And, proudly, Yumizuka Satsuki is smiling. Yumizuka, your hands! Yeah, I killed those people. What? Oh, but it's okay. I didn't kill them because I hated them. I just needed their blood to live, so I had to kill them. What is this? I don't really understand what Yumizuka is saying. You really killed them, Yumizuka? You wouldn't believe me even if I told you it's a lie, right? Or do you think it's impossible for a girl like me to do such a thing? Her voice laughed softly. I don't believe her. I don't believe her, but she is definitely not telling a lie. Hang on. Now I know why she has gorilla powers and Melty. Yeah, I guess that explains it. Sorry, I had to, there we go. Hang on, actually. There we go. There we go, got the guy. I had to get the route guide back up. Okay. I don't believe her, but she is definitely not telling a lie. This tragic scene, it's all Yumizuka's doing. Why such a terrible thing? It's not terrible. Like I said, I didn't kill them because I hated them. There's nothing wrong with killing others in order to live, is there, Shiki-kun? What? That's absurd. Killing is wrong. No, it's not. But I did do one bad thing. Since today was my first time drinking blood, I let a little of my blood get back into them. Because of that, you got attacked, Shiki-kun. I like how he's just like, murder's bad. And she's just like, no, it's fine. I'm sorry for getting you involved, but we're lucky. It died without being able to finish changing. What are you talking about, Yumizuka? It's okay if you don't understand right now. I don't really understand myself yet, so I can't explain it very well. But I think after a few days I can become like Shiki-kun. Like Shiki-kun become a great... As she says so, her face distorts in pain. Ah! Rasps of agony echo from her throat. Yumizuka chokes up blood. It hurts! I guess, even if I'm hungry, I shouldn't just drink blood at random. If it's not good quality, beautiful blood, it won't agree with me. She breaks out in a fit of coughing. She chokes out blood with every cough. Yumizuka's body convulses. I don't really understand. All I know is Yumizuka's in terrible pain. That's all I can clearly understand. Hey, are you okay, Yumizuka? I run towards her to take her hand. No! Don't come any closer, Shiki-kun! But Yumizuka's voice stops me. You mustn't. I'm not entirely okay, Shiki-kun. She speaks painfully, still vomiting red blood. Yumizuka, you... I don't understand. Why Yumizuka's in pain or why she's like this? What the hell is going on? You said you killed those people, but it's a lie, right, Yumizuka? If you're in that much pain, shouldn't you be in a hospital? I'm fooling myself. Even though I understand Yumizuka brought about this tragic scene, I still lie to myself. Yumizuka, I'm coming over there, okay? I speak gently, but Yumizuka shakes her head in violent refusal. Why? If you're in pain, we have to get you to a hospital right away. Shiki-kun, you're not getting it. You really never understand anything. Idiot. I told you before, I don't understand. Yeah, you did, didn't you? But you're still here. Yumizuka begins to pull away. It hurts, Shiki-kun. She breathes raggedly, coughing up red blood. It hurts. It's cold and I'm scared. I really want your help right now, Shiki-kun. But it's too early. Saying that, Yumizuka straightens up again. Oh, well, see, she's fine. Wait for me, okay? I'll go become a great vampire, then I'll come back and see you. Wait, Yumizuka. Well, that's the end of that interaction, I guess. I didn't expect that at all. Yumizuka is gone. Even as I start to run, Yumizuka is long gone. Her speed is inhuman, like that of a wild beast. Yumizuka, you... What happened to you, really? My injured shoulder throbs. When I look back, the open space where all the limbs were scattered only left red blood. The faces, the organs, the hands and feet, they all turned to ashes like the skull did before. Shit. Angrily, I strike the wall. What the hell is going on? I bellow pointlessly, and the alley echoes my voice. Going on, on. The next thing I know, I'm at the gates of the mansion. The wound on my shoulder aches. The lights of the mansion are dark. Somehow, I hadn't realized I would be coming back so late. Akia will surely be angry with me, I think as I put my hand on the heavy doors. The lobby is empty, so what should I do? Even though my wound needs treating, Kohaku-san is probably asleep. Nissan? Akia. I look up in the direction of the voice. Akia is standing on the stairs. It is you. Coming back so late at night, just what do you think? Akia reaches the bottom of the stairs and her rebuke spot stops. Nissan, where did you hurt your shoulder? Damn it. I had wanted to hide the wound, but it's too late now. No, this is... ketchup. It's ketchup. I spilled some ketchup on me. Never mind. Hold still. Is it only your shoulder? Yes, but how do you know? I can tell with all that blood on your clothes. I'll hear about it later, but right now, we'll treat it. Please forgive me, Nissan. Saying so, Akia touches my shoulder. My body jumps at only the slight touch of Akia's finger. It appears that the wound is deeper than I thought. I'm sorry. Did it hurt, Nissan? No, I'd like to say I'm okay, but I guess I'm not. Even a touch is really painful. I see. If it's this deep, I think it's too much for Koaku. I'll treat it, so please go into the sitting room. Akio walks upstairs. Phew. I turn on the sitting room lights and sit on the sofa. The wound on my shoulder hurts and begins to become unbearable. Sorry for making you wait. I'll treat the wound, so please relax. Akio comes in holding a first aid kit. I don't think that would really help on this wound, but I guess I should at least get it disinfected. Akio moves behind me and begins to treat the wound. The uniform, damp with blood, is cut away with scissors and the wound is exposed and disinfected. Gah! I clench my fists as the pain flares through my body. But after that, the ache of the wound begins to fade. Akio must be skilled at medical care, or perhaps the wound wasn't so bad to begin with. After a few minutes, the pain completely goes away. Alright, we're done. I expect a wound like that should be healed by the morning. Akio packs away the first aid kit. Somehow, I'm surprised. I would have expected Aki to ask where I got injured and to rebuke me for playing outside so late. You haven't asked, Akia. I haven't asked about what? Well, you know, why I'm back so late. Why I'm hurt. I blurted out like a complaint. After what happened with Yamizuka, I'm exhausted. And because I'm tired, I said such a thing. Nissan, I think I know the right order of things. Right now, the priority is to tend to your injury. Deep tissue wounds typically close up in 8 hours or less? Huh. The healing powers of the human body, I suppose. I see. Of course, I see. Oh, what kind of person did you think I was, Nissan? I'm not about to yell at someone who's hurt. You're right. I'm sorry. Thank you for everything. Oh, they do not? Well, I don't know what's true. I'm not, you know, I'm not even human. I'm a rabbit. I don't know anything about your silly, weak little bodies. I just use the looks of one for aesthetic purposes. You're right. I'm sorry. Thank you for everything. But even though you treated it, you're going to say you can't explain the situation, right? I don't want to listen to your excuses, but today is special. You do not wish to talk about it. I won't inquire either. Huh? Is that okay? I came back so late at night. Certainly, I am curious about what might have happened to you, but I trust you and I have enough trust to believe you weren't doing anything too dangerous. And I can't force someone to talk when they look like that. Akio looks away shyly. Looks like that? Is my expression that bad right now? I'll listen when you have recovered, Nissan. If you rest overnight, your health should improve. Feeling awkward, I look away from Akia. I'm glad she won't listen to me until I'm better, but I feel like I won't be able to talk about it in the morning. In the end, I can't tell Akia anything. I feel too guilty even to look at her face. Akia, Oh, please don't keep making that face. I told you I'll make an exception today, so go back to your room and rest, alright? I bet it's something you can't talk to me about anyway. She's like reading his thoughts. Do you have the script up in there, Akia? Having read my expression perfectly, Akia turns and goes out to the lobby. I can only sit on the sofa and watch her leave. Suddenly, I wonder, was Akia waiting for my return? Is that how she appeared in the lobby so quickly? Akia. What is it, Nissan? Thank you for treating me. I'm sorry for making you worry. Suddenly, Akia stops walking. And then she turns away. I wasn't worried about you, Nissan. If you have that much energy for flattery, you should concentrate on taking care of yourself. Oh, you're so soon right now. Oh. With a crash, she slams the door behind her. I really don't understand her. But I do understand that she was worried about me. Seems like I wasn't doing something too dangerous, huh? Agia seems to believe me since she said that. But really, it was a frighteningly dangerous scene. The body is scattered in the back alley. The figure of Yumizuka, her hands stained red with blood. Ugh. A chill runs through me just at the memory. I stand up, taking care of my wound, and return to my room. I change clothes and fall onto the bed. But if I close my eyes, I'll see the scene in the back alley. I killed all those people. Yumizuka said so as if it was nothing. I needed their blood, so she killed them. Just like a vampire, like a bad joke. Wait, okay, I'll go become a great vampire. I don't remember. What did Yumizuka say at the end? Huh. Sleepiness fills my body. With Yumizuka's face still etched in my mind, I close my eyes slowly. Only one thing is clear. That Yumizuka told the truth, and she really did slaughter all of those people. But even then, instead of fearing everything that happened, I'm more concerned about the one thing she said. It hurts. It really hurts, Tono-kun. There's something wrong with me. Yumizuka's really a murderer, but those words will not leave my mind. Inversion Impulse 3, third day. A hot summer day, a blue sky and large columns of summer clouds, the wafting breeze, the droning voice of the cicadas. The voice of cicadas. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Chirp, chirp, chirp. I don't really have a good cicada voice sound. Sorry, I can't really do that with my mouth. So loud I want to die. Cicada shells are lying in the clearing. As if the sun is right by my side, the clearing is roasting. A hot midsummer's day. As if the entire world became a frying pan. I'm sure everyone in this chat room has seen an anime, so you know what cicadas sound like. Sounds of children crying. Wah. Akiya is crying. A child lies collapsed at her feet. His white shirt is painted red with blood and he doesn't move at all. I'm looking down at that. My hands are red, just like that child on the ground. No, that's not it. These hands are red with the blood of that child. Akiya! The adults are coming. What in the... The adults take Akiya away. The child lies there, dead. Alone by myself, the adults press the hands which killed the child to the ground. Huh. That scene was in like a sepia tone before, now it's all in color. Did you kill him? The adults are yelling at me. They shout my name, the one who killed the child. Those 2 syllables shouting as if they went crazy. Those 2 syllables. Those adults call me Shiki as my hands are stained in red. Shiki-sama, if you do not get up now, you shall be late. Please wake up. Hearing my own name called, I awaken from a deep dream. Hisui? Yes. Good morning, Shiki-sama. Hisui bows deeply. Autumn sunlight shines through the windows. This is unmistakably my room. Hisui. Shiki-sama, are you feeling unwell? No, I'm fine. I just had a terribly nostalgic dream. Nostalgia for murder? But I can't remember the details that well. What was it? I can't remember. Question mark? Hisui tilts her head slightly. Well, there's no point in telling Hisui. The dream. What kind of a dream was it? The dazzling white bright enough to bring tears to my eyes and furiously gushing spots of red. Something like an inauspicious dream. I don't know why that's in all caps. Maybe it's written the way Shiki's name is written in Japanese. Like the different alphabet. Shiki. Yes? What is it, Shiki-sama? It's nothing. I'm sorry. I'll go straight to the dining room. With a nod, Hisui walks to the door. Clack, clack, clack. Hisui's footsteps are louder than usual. Just as she's about to leave the room, she turns back. Shiki-sama, forgive me for asking. What time did you return last night? Yesterday. Quite late at night. Shiki-sama, you said your return would be at 4 o'clock. I assume the schedule changed. I remember. Yesterday morning I told Hisui that she should expect me at 4. I'm sorry. Things happened and I didn't make it back. I will be prompt from now on, so it would be great if you could overlook it this time. No, it is not necessary for you to say such a thing, Tsukihime. It is the duty of us servants to work in accordance with the schedules of our masters. However, I humbly request that you at least contact us. Whatever the circumstances, you should still be able to let us know. You're right. Sorry. I'll keep my promise from now on. I understand. Then please excuse me. That was rare. Hisui seemed pretty angry. She always so expressionless. It seems she gets extremely angry when she does get angry. That was a weird double sentence. As if I did something really terrible. Well then, time to get up. Pulling away the sheets, I get up. I get up! At that moment. Hi, Kaskin. My body aches terribly. Ugh! The pain, it's not from the gash in my shoulder. It's from a much deeper place, aching with my heartbeat. Ugh! Clenching the sheets, I somehow weather the pain. Ah! It fades away. There's nothing lingering. Perhaps just a sudden fit? Chest wound. I touch my chest over my cloth. There is a great scar there, and even now that it is healed, at times it still hurts like it did just now. The doctor said the physical wound is healed, but the time the mind must be replaying the pain over and over again. Usually, the scar begins throbbing after I see a traffic accident or something dead. The image of blood or death must make me recall the accident 8 years ago. Because of last night, I guess. The red back alley, and the normal, smiling face of Yumizuka. Ugh, my chest hurts. The image of Yumizuka doesn't leave my mind. But I don't know what I should do, what I can do. I can only live my everyday life. Shit. Swearing at myself, I roll out of bed. After changing out of my pajamas and into my school uniform, I head to the sitting room. Akiya and Hisui are in the sitting room. Kohaku-san is probably in the kitchen cooking my breakfast. Good morning, Nisan. Sitting on the sofa, Akiya greets me and looks at my expression. Morning. I'm sorry about yesterday. Returning her greeting, I head to the dining room. There really isn't that much time for me to stay and chat with Akiya, and I don't really feel like talking to anyone at all. Nisan, would you like to speak I would like to speak with you a little. Is that alright? Alright. Please make it short, since I don't have much time. I sit on the sofa across from her. Continuing last night's talk, Nisan, what were you doing yesterday? Akiya asked me with a direct stare. Nothing. Just went for a walk in town. I'm sorry for getting back late, but it's no big deal. Since I don't want to lie to Akiya, I answer as evasively as possible. Yeah, that's true. I just fell on my walk and somehow got a giant cut on my shoulder. Just walking the streets is something. You are still a minor, so please do not wander out late at night. Even if you weren't, there have been a lot of disturbances going on. Ah, disturbances. The killer skulking around the town at night. Why? Why didn't I realize? The killer that murders people and drinks their blood. That phrase perfectly matches Yumizuka's behavior yesterday. I shouldn't have to say this, but you shouldn't strain your body. If you come back with an exhausted face like last night's again, I'll get worried. If you're in trouble, please tell me. I may not be able to do much, but if you could... I don't want to think about it, but Yumizuka could be the killer terrorizing the town. Nisan, are you listening to me? Yeah. I'm listening. I hear Akiya's voice. But the only thing in my mind is the image of Yumizuka from yesterday. Akiya glares at me. So, you can't talk about your situation, Nisan. Yeah. It has nothing to do with you, Akiya. Right now, I can think of only Yumizuka. I want to be alone, and so I said that. You're going to keep your own way, is that what you're saying, Nisan? I understand. Well, please, feel free. If that's what you want, Nisan, I'll do the same. She's so passive-aggressive. Akiya stands and walks out to the lobby. Shiki-sama, is this acceptable? Acceptable? Is what acceptable? I believe Akiya-sama is deeply concerned about you, Shiki-sama. But I think it is difficult for her since she does not often talk about her feelings. I know, but right now my head is full and I do feel sorry. Hisui falls silent. Shiki-san, breakfast! Koaku-san's voice can be heard from the dining room. I stand up and head towards it. Shiki-sama, around what time will you be returning today? Since today's Saturday, no. It'll probably be in the evening. There's something I want to look for. I understand. Please take care of it. Please take care until then. She bows deeply. After Hisui sees me off, I leave the mansion. There was no point coming to school. Yumizuka Satsuki was treated as an absentee, and no one seemed to be the slightest bit concerned about her. Time passed without my realizing it. Perhaps Arihiko or CL-senpai came by sometime, but I don't really remember. Noon comes and school ends. I have no idea. But I still have to look for Yumizuka. Okay. I'm a little bit sorry about this, minions, but I think this is where I'm gonna have to stop for tonight. I know it is a shorter than usual stream, especially for the readings, but I'm quite sleepy, if I'm being honest, and I need my beauty rest, which is very, very important for someone as beautiful as me. So next time we will go and search for Yumizuka and find out why she spilled all that ketchup on her hands. For now, let's go. Well, who will I send you to invade? You know what? Chickzama is streaming her I think it's like bi-weekly, every other week, Blaze Blue tournament. So you should go check out the Snake Pit. She streams a Blaze Blue tournament every now and then, and that's a lot of fun if you like Blaze Blue. I've been learning about Blaze Blue more and more recently, and it's a great game, so I recommend everybody go check it out and give her a shout out from me, okay? Chickzama is very, very cool, and yeah, you should support her. You should support her her Blaze Blue streams. I want to see everybody in there, all 12 of you. I only see 7 right now. You better rate her, okay? I want to see everybody in there. Yes, we will solve the mystery of Yumizuka spilling all that chunky salsa onto her hands. Where did she get that salsa? Anyways, yes, sorry for the shorter than usual stream, but that's okay. We'll dig deeper into Akio's route next time. There's a lot of interesting things that happen. I wasn't expecting all this stuff with Yumizuka. So I'll see you then, and good night. And don't forget, tomorrow, Saturday, we're actually still being in the Tsukihime universe with Melty Blood type Lumina. We're gonna check out Aoko and Dead Apostle Null, the new DLC characters that just dropped and are actually free. So that's cool. Okay, that's all. I'll see you all tomorrow, minions. Good night.